overview of what I'm going to do today. Anyway, I'm by myself today. Jane is not here, the other fellow backyard carpenter, because she's having a thing called work. So anyway, we just do this on the side. She actually has a part-time job and I'm retired. But anyway, what I got to do is I'm going to sand down and feather the edges, okay? And then I'm going to remove all of that. And I have got a foam that's called Big Gap Filler that I'm going to put in there to stop that airflow. That's a piece of hardwood that I'm going to turn into the patch for the hardwood floor that has rotted out there. So that's what I'm doing. Now let me take you outside and show you what I'm doing outside. So what I've done is I've used this sander, which is for drywall, and I'm filling along here to see if I feel anything, like I felt a little something right there, so I know I got to sand that down. Now, that's smooth, and over here, alright, so what this is called feathering the edges of the drywall, so when she paints it, it just blends in. You won't actually see this patch. This is a 12-foot 4x4. It's actually 12 feet 1 inch. Because of that, I should be able to get 6 cuts out of this to go over there when I dig the holes, plant these in the ground, concrete, and then we'll screw the base frame to these. So I've already done a 24 to here. I'll mark it with a speed square. This is called a speed square. I'm going to set it aside. All right, let's line her up. All right, and since I'm cutting, I'm going to cut to the left side of the line. And it helps to plug these things up. Yeah, these saws do better when you plug them up. So here we go. Again, left side. Should be wearing my gloves. Forgive me for not, but I will be later. Well, I got all of them cut, so now it's time to haul them over to where the shed's going to be. I've got my gloves on. Whew. Alright, I've laid out all the 4x4s, marked where they need to be on the 2x6s, and so it's a matter now of carefully starting to dig the holes. Notice I'm laying the dirt aside, so I'm going to use it to pack when it's all done. I got my gloves on, I got my face covering, and now I'm going to pour this bag of concrete into this. See, a lot of dust is being created. And the reason is, now I'm going to take this over. I have the 3 holes on the back end. They're dug, so now it's a matter of planting the 4x4. Dug my hole, alright, poured in my concrete, alright, and I've put my level on it, alright. So now it's time to pour a little bit of water in it to settle it down. Alright, I'm going to check the level one more time. Alright, she looked good. She looks good. Alright, so it's just a matter of 5 more. Before we go inside and see where the foam is, let's take a look at this chair. What I did is I used a 2-part system for being able to weld this bottom back together. So we're going to take all the weights that I'd used and see what happens. Here with the 2-part system, big moment of truth, we're going to sit, see what happens. Ooh, it's holding. Thank your word. Hallelujah. Now let's go inside. It took one entire can of this stuff to fill in this gap along this outside wall to stop the airflow from coming up from underneath the house, right? So now I won't have to put these in place anymore because they were just to keep the airflow from coming up through the crawl space area, letting cold air just flow up through here. I'll still have to address that area when I cut that piece out, but you can saw this stuff and it will expand, and I'll saw it off to what I need. There are 6 posts planted in the ground. A lot of mud, a lot of water, but I got the 6 posts done. And now it's a matter of just letting them dry and then pulling up the base structure of this shed to level and screw it down with 4-inch screws. Let's go inside and look at that foam. All the bucket list items I had on my list today are now done. Now, notice that the foam has really expanded, but you can cut it and shape it the way you want it. The patch looks good. So Jane will be able to come in and she'll be able to put her final coats on this, and then we're going to start talking about doing the walls. In the meanwhile, we'll continue to work on the shed outside. But that's it for today.